always like to plan on what I'm going to say after I get up here on that, and that's sort of typical for John Arthur Smith, but it's certainly a pleasure to have United States Senator Jeff Bingaman here today. Jeff is a graduate of Silver City High School in 1961. We have an awful lot in common. We dye our hair this color, and on that. And one of us still exercises. I believe they probably still jog a little bit, and I'll let you leave it to your imagination on which one does the jogging and which one doesn't on that. But the delightful thing about our United States Senator is that he's been a deliberate thinker, and I've been in office quite a while, and he's been in office. This is completing his 30th year. And oftentimes you're remembered for one issue and one issue only. And that can determine whether you're elected or not elected. But what you always appreciate about our United States Senator is whether you agree or disagree on virtually every subject, he's examined it very closely, and it's not a knee-jerk response. In addition to that, given the notoriety that a lot of politicians have achieved, not necessarily most favorable notoriety, we're always very proud of United States Senator Jeff Bingaman because he set a very high standard for his successors from New Mexico that we're extremely proud of the way you've carried yourself. There was never a whisper as far as his motivation. It was always what is best for the state of New Mexico. And I think we're going to even appreciate him more. And if you think about it, when you watch television today and the political ads that are being played, we're almost exhausted on that, and they really haven't intensified. We came back from Chicago here last week, my wife and I, and there was one market in Ohio that has 156 ads per day right now for the presidential candidates. And that was measured in July. So you can imagine what it's going to be like right now. But when Senator Bingaman was running, the negatives were never cast by Senator Bingaman. He was extremely very positive. People would come after him and attack. And the longer we permit this to happen as a society, I want you to reflect back on the way Senator Bingaman conducted his campaigns. I'm not here to really talk about politics in general because I think the senator has a rule that a lot of people do not fully understand, but I don't think Senator Bingaman talks politics until after 5 o'clock. And it's been pretty true when he comes to town, and that's sort of an unknown because he's very quiet, low profile, very deliberate thinker, and we need more politicians like Senator Bingaman, and we appreciate that, Senator. A few things that you probably don't know about Senator Bingaman, I can't mention them here, but we'll leave that silent. We were just rehashing his high school days and my high school days, and at one time I weighed 120 pounds, and you're going to find that hard to believe, and you're going to say, hey, that's a lying politician up there. He never weighed 120 pounds. But the bottom line was we were extremely fortunate to have a United States Senator from Southwest New Mexico, because when you called his staff, and his staff was always very cooperative with us, they knew exactly where Southwest New Mexico was. They knew where Lordsburg was. His grandparents were originally from Lordsburg. Certainly didn't have a difficult time understanding anything about Luna County. Probably a gentleman here that knows more about the state of Chihuahua than most of us will ever learn. Very knowledgeable. Had business visitation down there by different groups for several years into the state of Chihuahua and Nueva Casa Grande area. But Senator Bingaman also, and as a Demingite, extremely proud of, he's had 2 staff people that I know of that he's hired on his Washington, D.C. staff and Las Cruces staff, and that was Kelly Smyer and Melanie Goodman. We certainly claim her to Luna County, but it makes it much easier when you communicate with your staff that they fully understand the dynamics of the local communities, and we appreciate that effort, and we hope that they will move on and have a similar capacity with the successors to your position. The other thing you need to know about Senator Bingaman, because he's very, very low profile, and he's long since forgotten, I'm glad he has, because I'm not going to ask him for any favors in the future for the next few months, was that at one time I told him that the wrong Bingaman was running for office, and it was his wife, Ann. She's very outgoing, very dynamic individual. I suspect she got better grades than you did in law school also on that one. But the bottom line was it was a family participation in his political career. And the Bingaman name has been well known in New Mexico political history, but that's continued through him, and we're glad to have Senator Bingaman here today, and we'll always be very proud of you, Senator Bingaman. And we're looking forward for you to move back to New Mexico, and if you want to, you're welcome to move back to Southwest New Mexico, and you can write letters to the editor and tell everybody how it should be. But with that, it's with great pleasure I'm introducing Senator Bingaman with one caveat. The person that can really knows you probably better than anyone else in this room is probably Representative Donna Irwin. And I don't know whether you want to make a few remarks, Donna, or not. You may regret that.
Yes, I think I'm the one that knows him the best. I was born and raised in Silver City as well, and his father and my father were very, very good friends. When he ran for office the first time, this is kind of a family thing. My sister was the campaign manager for Harrison Schmidt, and I was his campaign manager in Luna County, so it kind of made a little problem in the family. But it was my pleasure to be able to be his campaign person down here. And his wife, Ann, yes, she's dynamic. The first time I ever met her, we were in Washington, and she told about their experiences moving into Washington, and she has extremely dry sense of humor, and she had everybody in that room in the palm of her hand. But it was also a really nice opportunity. I had to go with him got a chance to go with him into Chihuahua. That's the only way to go. You have somebody ahead of you, you have somebody behind you. Interpol is right there. They don't let you go anywhere without anyone. That was the most fantastic trip I've ever had in Mexico. But it's my pleasure to have you here, and we do appreciate you coming.